yanked at one of the colorful silk cords dangling off the bulky contraption strapped to her back. An enormous pair of wings unfolded, bamboo bones clicking as each segment snapped into place, stretching the thin silk fabric that lined the frame. The wings caught a gust of wind, sending their wearer flying upward and out. "Thank you!" she yelled to the sky, eyes glimmering with excitement as she soared above the waves. Khan, the god of the skies who watched over the Antaran territories, was probably sneering at her foolishness, but the proper respect still needed to be paid. Respectfulness she had learned from her mother. The foolhardy part was all from her father. Ying closed her eyes and basked in the serenity of her surroundings. The occasional cooing of gulls punctuated the soft humming of the waves. By the time she opened her eyes again, the circular white roofs of her village's gurs came into view, looking like tiny mushrooms sprouting amid the grass and snow. Farther in the distance, small specks of white and brown dotted the grasslands. The village's many flocks of sheep, yak, and horse herds grazing peacefully. Tugging at the blue cord on her left, she adjusted her course so that she was now homebound. Before setting off, she had identified a clear patch of grass off the western edge of her village as her landing spot. She had even stuck a large red flag into the ground. But landing was more difficult than she'd imagined. Instead of sailing comfortably toward her flag, Ying lost the updraft midway over the cluster of gurs. She was cutting it so close to the sloping roofs that she could see her bewildered clansmen pointing at her and hear their exclamations of incredulity. "Hi!" she yelled, waving stiffly. "Just passing through." Then, suddenly, a wooden wind vane caught her right wing, mercilessly ripping through its sheer fabric. That marked the end of Ying's little experiment. She smashed straight into the felt-lined roof of the gur before tumbling down the side and landing on the ground with a loud crash. The intricately carved wooden door of the circular tent swung open, revealing the perplexed faces of its occupants. A small crowd gathered around her, clucking with disapproval. "Look at you! Such a disgrace! How is it that the chieftain allows his daughter to run amok like a wild boar? To think you're the oldest girl, too. You're supposed to be looking after your younger siblings in your mother's stead, but instead you're always creating trouble." The voice, harsh and scratchy, belonged to a walking contradiction called Roya. Despite her jolly appearance, the owner of the village tavern was one of the most obnoxious and disagreeable personalities in the clan. Ying fumbled to get herself off the ground, dusting away the flecks of dirt and snow that clung to her azure woolen robes and fur-lined boots. Picking up her broken wings, she smiled at her spectators as sweetly as a silver fox might. "How kind of you to show concern for my Ama's parenting methods. I'll be sure to convey the message," she said, turning to walk away. As the second child in a line of 6 and the eldest girl, there were certain expectations that the villagers would force upon her shoulders, expectations she chose to willfully ignore. "Insolent brat," Roya muttered loudly. "It's no wonder no decent young man will take her for a wife." Ying rolled her eyes. It was not the first time she'd heard things like that, whispered behind her back as if she could not hear them. She was infamous within the Aihui clan, blessed by Khan with the beauty of a winter snowdrop, yet she received no love from the matchmakers. She was too odd, they said, and would not make a good wife. Were she not the daughter of the clan's chieftain, she would have been expelled long ago. The superficial opinions of her clansmen meant little to Ying. Marriage had never been on her list of priorities anyway. She wanted a different future.